When the trucks stop, the shelves go empty. It's a harsh truth most people ignore. Our food supply system is efficient, but dangerously fragile. A trucker strike, fuel crisis, or major storm is all it takes to turn grocery stores into barren wastelands. And when that happens, your stock portfolio or crypto won't feed your family. The real wealth, self-reliance. Growing your own food is the ultimate insurance policy. A survival garden isn't just smart, it's essential. But not all crops are created equal. Forget fragile greens that wilt in the heat. You need the heavy hitters, calorie-packed, nutrient-rich crops that store for months and can even be bartered. In this video, we're breaking down 12 gardening items that'll be worth more than gold in a food shortage. From powerhouse plants to seed-saving tips, we've got you covered. Hit subscribe now. Your backyard is about to become your family's lifeline. 12 radishes, the speed kings of survival gardening. Let's kick off with an unsung hero of the garden, radishes. You might be rolling your eyes thinking, radishes? Really? But hear me out. This little root vegetable is a survival powerhouse, and its value lies in one critical factor: speed. When food supplies are tight and you need something fresh on your plate fast, radishes are your go-to crop. Here's the deal. Most radish varieties can go from seed to harvest in as little as 25 days. That's less than a month to get fresh, nutrient-packed food on your table. While your calorie-dense crops, like potatoes or corn, are still months away from being ready, radishes step in to fill the gap. They're not calorie-heavy, but they're loaded with vitamins and minerals that your body desperately needs in a crisis. And let's not forget, fresh food is a morale booster when times are tough. But the magic of radishes doesn't stop at the roots. The entire plant is edible, and the leaves are a hidden gem most people overlook. Cook them like spinach, and you've got a nutrient-rich side dish packed with vitamins A, C, and K, plus calcium and iron. In a survival situation where every scrap of food counts, radish greens are a game changer. Radishes are also ridiculously easy to grow. They thrive in small spaces, making them perfect for container gardening or tucking into gaps in your garden beds. They love cool weather, so you can plant them in early spring and again in the fall, doubling your harvest potential. And if you're thinking long-term, saving radish seeds is a breeze. Just let a few plants bolt, meaning they grow tall and flower, and you'll get seed pods. Once those pods dry out, you can harvest hundreds of seeds from a single plant. That's a self-sustaining food source right there. In a world where food is scarce, the speed and simplicity of radishes make them worth their weight in gold. They're not just a vegetable, they're a survival strategy. 11. Spinach, the cold weather nutrient powerhouse. Next up is spinach, a leafy green that punches way above its weight in terms of survival value. Spinach isn't about calories, it's about nutrients. When your diet is limited to staples like rice and beans, spinach steps in to provide the vitamins and minerals your body needs to stay healthy and strong. Spinach is a cold weather champion, thriving in conditions that would kill off most other crops. This makes it invaluable for extending your growing season. You can plant it early in the spring, long before your summer vegetables are ready, and again in the fall. With a little protection, like a cold frame or row cover, some spinach varieties can even survive the winter, giving you a head start on fresh greens in early spring. The nutritional profile of spinach is off the charts. It's loaded with vitamins A, C, and K, as well as iron, calcium, and antioxidants. These nutrients are essential for maintaining a strong immune system, especially in a survival scenario where medical care might not be readily available. A diet lacking in fresh greens can lead to serious health issues, but spinach helps fill that gap. One of the best things about spinach is its fast growth. You can start harvesting baby leaves in as little as 30 days. And if you use the cut-and-come-again method, where you harvest the outer leaves and let the plant keep growing, you'll have a steady supply of greens for weeks. This method maximizes your yield and ensures you're getting the most out of every plant. Saving spinach seeds is straightforward but requires a little planning. Spinach is wind-pollinated, so it's best to grow a small block of plants together to ensure good seed production. Let a few plants bolt, and once the seeds on the stalks are dry, you can strip them off and store them. Properly stored seeds can last for years, giving you a renewable source of this nutrient-dense crop. In a food shortage, spinach isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Its ability to grow in cold weather, combined with its nutrient density, makes it a must-have for any survival garden. 10. Amaranth, the ancient superfood. At number 10, we have amaranth, a plant that's been feeding humans for thousands of years. If you've never grown it, you're missing out on one of the most versatile and resilient crops you can add to your survival garden. Amaranth isn't just a vegetable, it's a dual-purpose powerhouse that provides both nutrient-rich greens and a storable protein-packed grain. Let's start with the greens. The young leaves of amaranth are tender and packed with nutrients, rivaling spinach in their vitamin and mineral content. You can harvest them all season long, making them a reliable source of fresh food. But the real treasure lies in the seeds. Amaranth produces massive flower heads filled with thousands of tiny seeds. These seeds are a complete protein, meaning they contain all the essential amino acids your body needs. In a survival situation where meat might be scarce, this is a game changer. The seeds are incredibly versatile. You can cook them like porridge, grind them into flour for baking, or even pop them like tiny popcorn. They're gluten-free and packed with protein, making them a valuable addition to any diet. And because they store well, they're perfect for long-term food security. Amaranth is also one of the easiest crops to grow. It thrives in poor soil, laughs at drought, and can handle extreme heat. This resilience makes it ideal for survival gardening, where you can't always count on perfect condition. A few plants can produce an enormous amount of both greens and seeds, giving you a high return on your investment. Seed saving with amaranth is almost too easy. Once the flower heads are dry, you simply shake out the seeds. A single plant can produce tens of thousands of seeds, giving you more than enough for food, replanting, and even bartering. In a world where resources are scarce, amaranth is a low-effort, high-reward crop that deserves a spot in every survival garden. 9. Cabbage, the fermentation champion. Coming in at number 9 is cabbage, a vegetable that has been a survival staple for centuries. Why? Because it solves one of the biggest problems in a food shortage: long-term preservation. Cabbage is the key ingredient in fermented foods like sauerkraut and kimchi, which can last for months without refrigeration. Fermentation isn't just about preservation, it's also about nutrition. The process of fermenting cabbage actually increases the availability of its nutrients, making it easier for your body to absorb them. Fermented foods are also rich in probiotics, which are essential for gut health. In a high-stress survival situation, a healthy gut can make all the difference in how well your body absorbs nutrients and fights off illness. Cabbage is incredibly efficient. A single head packs a lot of food into a small space, making it a high-yield crop. It's also a cool-weather vegetable, so you can grow it in the spring and fall. Whole heads can be stored in a root cellar for months, providing another layer of food security. Saving cabbage seeds is a bit more advanced, but it's worth the effort. Cabbage is a biennial, meaning it takes 2 years to produce seeds. You'll need to overwinter the plant and replant it in the spring to let it flower and set seed. While this requires some planning, the payoff is huge. Once you've mastered seed saving, you'll have a renewable source of this essential crop. Cabbage isn't just a vegetable, it's a survival tool. Its ability to be stored, fermented, and grown in cool weather makes it an invaluable addition to any garden. If you're serious about food security, cabbage is non-negotiable. 8. Carrots, the vision-saving root crop. At number 8, we have the humble carrot, a vegetable so common it's easy to overlook its true value in a survival situation. But don't let its simplicity fool you. Carrots are a survival garden essential, and their importance goes far beyond just being a crunchy snack. They're a powerhouse of beta-carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A, a nutrient critical for maintaining good vision, especially in low-light conditions. In a world where electricity might be a luxury, strong eyesight isn't just helpful, it's essential. Carrots are incredibly versatile in the garden. They don't take up much space above ground, making them ideal for small gardens or even container planting. Below the surface, they grow deep, tapping into nutrients other plants can't reach. Here's a pro tip. Carrots can be left in the ground well past the first frost. The cold actually sweetens their flavor, and your soil acts as a natural refrigerator. This means you can harvest them as needed, reducing the risk of spoilage. For long-term storage, carrots are champions. Pack them in damp sand or sawdust, and store them in a cool, dark place like a root cellar. This method can keep them fresh for months, allowing you to enjoy crunchy, nutrient-rich carrots deep into the winter without relying on refrigeration or canning. Carrots are biennials, which means they take 2 years to produce seeds. To save seeds, you'll need to overwinter your best roots and replant them in the spring. Once they flower, they'll produce seeds that can be harvested and stored for future planting. This process requires patience, but the payoff is a renewable source of this essential crop. In a survival scenario, a steady supply of vitamin A can make all the difference, and carrots are your ticket to maintaining that supply. 7. Garlic. The medicinal marvel. Coming in at number 7 is garlic, a plant that's as powerful as it is easy to grow. Garlic isn't just a flavor booster, it's a survival garden MVP. Its value lies in its versatility. It's a natural medicine, a pest deterrent, and a self-sustaining crop that can keep your garden and your health in top shape. Let's start with its medicinal properties. Garlic has been used for centuries as a natural antibiotic and immune booster. In a world without easy access to pharmacies, garlic can help fight off infections and keep your immune system strong. It's also packed with antioxidants, which are crucial for overall health, especially in high-stress situations. In the garden, garlic is a natural pest repellent, planted among your other crops, and it will help keep harmful insects at bay. This is a huge advantage when pesticides aren't an option. And the best part, garlic is almost laughably easy to grow. Plant individual cloves in the fall, cover them with mulch, and forget about them until summer. It's a low-maintenance crop that delivers high reward. Garlic's true value lies in its self-sustaining nature. You don't need to save seeds, you just save some of your biggest, healthiest bulbs from each harvest. Each clove you plant grows into a whole new bulb, creating a perfect cycle of renewal. As long as you save a few bulbs each year, you'll never run out of garlic. In a survival scenario, this kind of sustainability is worth more than gold. 6. Peas, the protein-packed soil builders. At number 6, we have peas, a crop that's as versatile as it is valuable. Peas are a survival garden workhorse, offering a reliable source of plant-based protein, while also improving your soil. They're a dual-purpose crop that earns their place in any serious prepper's garden. Let's talk about protein first. Dried peas are a concentrated source of plant-based protein, making them a critical addition to a survival diet. They store exceptionally well, lasting for years when kept in a cool, dry place. Add them to soups, stews, or casseroles for a protein boost that will keep you fueled for hard work. But peas don't just feed you, they feed your soil. Peas are nitrogen fixers, which means they take nitrogen from the air and convert it into a form that enriches the soil. This is a game changer in a long-term survival scenario where synthetic fertilizers aren't available. After harvesting your peas, you can work the plants back into the soil, creating a natural fertilizer for the next crop. This makes peas a cornerstone of sustainable gardening. Peas thrive in cool weather, making them perfect for early spring planting. They'll give you a big harvest before your summer crops even get started. For maximum yield, consider growing pole peas instead of bush peas. They require a trellis, but the vertical growth allows you to harvest more peas from the same amount of ground. Saving pea seeds is incredibly simple. Peas are self-pollinating, so they grow true to type. Just leave some pods on your healthiest plants to dry completely on the vine. When the pods rattle, they're ready to harvest. Shell the peas, let them dry further, and store them. These seeds will be your food for the winter and your planting stock for the spring. In a survival situation, peas are a high-value crop that delivers on multiple fronts. 5. Winter squash, the long-term storage champion. Breaking into the top 5 is winter squash, the heavyweight champion of long-term storage crops. We're talking about varieties like butternut, acorn, spaghetti, and Hubbard squash. These aren't just vegetables, they're calorie-dense, nutrient-packed survival tools that can sustain you through the harshest winters. The main problem winter squash solves is the need for food that stores well without refrigeration. In a world where electricity might be unreliable, the ability to store a vegetable for 3, 6, or even 9 months in its natural state is invaluable. A single butternut squash is loaded with calories, carbohydrates, and essential vitamins like A and C. This is the kind of dense nutrition that fuels hard work and keeps you going. Growing winter squash does require some space, but it's space well used. You can train the vines to climb a trellis, saving ground space, or let them sprawl across your garden, where they act as a living mulch. This suppresses weeds and helps retain soil moisture, making your garden more efficient. The secret to winter squash's long shelf life lies in the curing process. After harvesting, let the squash sit in a warm, sunny spot for a week or two. This hardens the skin, improves the flavor, and extends its storage life. Once cured, store the squash in a cool, dark, and dry place. A spare closet or basement works perfectly. Properly stored, winter squash can last for months, providing a reliable source of food deep into the winter. And let's not forget the seeds. Roasted squash seeds are a delicious protein-rich snack. For planting, save seeds from your healthiest squash. Wash and dry them thoroughly, and you'll have a renewable source of this essential crop. A cellar full of winter squash isn't just food, it's peace of mind. In a survival scenario, it's hard to put a price on that. 4. Sweet potatoes, the dual-purpose survival crop. At number 4, we have sweet potatoes, a survival garden superstar that offers not one but two sources of food from a single plant. Sweet potatoes are a nutritional powerhouse, packed with calories, carbohydrates, and one of the highest natural sources of vitamin A. In a survival situation where energy and nutrition are critical, sweet potatoes are a crop you can't afford to overlook. What makes sweet potatoes stand out is their dual-purpose nature. While the roots are calorie-dense and perfect for long-term storage, the leaves are an often overlooked bonus. Sweet potato leaves are highly nutritious, similar to spinach, and can be harvested throughout the growing season. This means you get a steady supply of fresh greens all summer long, in addition to the calorie-rich roots you'll store for winter. It's a 2-for-1 deal that few other crops can match. Sweet potatoes thrive in hot weather, making them ideal for regions with long, warm growing seasons. They're grown from slips, which are sprouts that come from mature sweet potatoes. Starting your own slips is simple. Just place a sweet potato in a jar of water and let it sprout. Once the slips are ready, plant them in loose, well-drained soil and watch them take off. When it comes to storage, sweet potatoes are incredibly efficient. After harvesting, cure them by letting them sit in a warm, humid environment for about a week. This process toughens their skin and improves their flavor, allowing them to last for months in a cool, dark place. For propagation, simply save a few of your best sweet potatoes from the harvest to start new slips the following spring. This self-sustaining cycle makes sweet potatoes one of the most efficient and reliable survival crops you can grow. Field corn, the calorie king of grains. Taking the number 3 spot is field corn, also known as dent corn, a crop that has sustained civilizations for centuries. Unlike sweet corn, which is best eaten fresh, field corn is all about long-term storage and versatility. It's a calorie-dense grain that can be stored for years, making it an essential survival crop. Field corn solves one of the biggest challenges in a food shortage, providing a reliable, storable source of calories. Once the kernels are fully dried on the stalk, they can be stored in airtight containers for years, even decades if kept dry. A single cup of dried corn kernels is packed with energy, making it a critical food source for hard work and survival. The versatility of field corn is what truly sets it apart. You can grind it into cornmeal to make cornbread, tortillas, or porridge. And here's a survival tip. If you treat the kernels with lime or wood ash in a process called nixtamalization, you unlock additional nutrients like niacin, which are essential for preventing deficiencies. This ancient technique is what allowed entire cultures to thrive on corn as a staple food. Field corn is also a key player in the Three Sisters planting method, a time-tested system of companion planting. The corn stalks act as a natural trellis for pole beans, which fix nitrogen in the soil to feed the corn. Meanwhile, squash grows at the base, suppressing weeds and retaining soil moisture. It's a masterclass in gardening efficiency. Saving seeds from field corn is straightforward. Simply select the best ears from your healthiest plants, let them dry completely, and store them for the next planting season. A sack of dried field corn isn't just food, it's a renewable source of calories, a tradable commodity, and a cornerstone of food security. 2. Dry beans, the protein powerhouse. At number 2, we have dry beans, a survival garden essential that provides a shelf-stable, protein-rich food source. Whether it's pinto, black, kidney, or navy beans, these legumes are the backbone of protein self-sufficiency in a world where meat might be a luxury. The primary problem dry beans solve is the need for a long-lasting, dense source of protein. Protein is vital for maintaining muscle, energy, and overall health, especially in a survival scenario. Properly dried and stored beans can last for decades in airtight containers, making them one of the most reliable long-term food options available. Combine them with corn, and you have a complete protein that provides all the essential amino acids your body needs. But beans don't just feed you, they also feed your garden. As legumes, beans fix nitrogen in the soil, enriching it for future crops. This natural fertilization process is invaluable in a survival situation where synthetic fertilizers aren't an option. By planting beans, you're not just growing food, you're improving the health of your soil for the next planting season. For most survival gardens, pole beans are the way to go. They grow vertically on a trellis, maximizing your yield in a small space. This makes them ideal for gardens where space is limited. Saving bean seeds is as simple as letting the pods dry completely on the vine. Once they're brittle, shell the beans, ensure they're thoroughly dry, and store them. A single bucket of dried beans is a treasure trove of protein, soil fertility, and future harvests. 1. Potatoes, the calorie titan. Finally, at the top of the list, we have the undisputed champion of survival gardening, the potato. This humble tuber is the ultimate survival crop, and for good reason. Potatoes are the king of calories, producing more energy per square foot than any other common crop. In a survival situation where calories are life, potatoes are your best bet. Potatoes are not only calorie-dense, but also nutritionally valuable. They're a good source of vitamin C, B6, and potassium, making them a well-rounded food that can sustain you through tough times. Their versatility in the kitchen is another bonus. You can bake, boil, fry, or mash them, ensuring you never get bored of eating them. What makes potatoes truly exceptional is their ease of cultivation. They're forgiving and adaptable, growing well in a variety of conditions. You can plant them in traditional garden beds, containers, or even stacks of old tires. They're also incredibly low maintenance, requiring minimal care once planted. When it comes to storage, potatoes are hard to beat. Simply keep them in a cool, dark, and dry place, and they'll last for months. This makes them a reliable food source throughout the winter. But the real magic of potatoes lies in their propagation. You don't need to save seeds, just save some of your harvested potatoes. Each eye on a potato is a sprout that can grow into a new plant. By cutting your stored potatoes into pieces with at least one eye each, you can plant your next crop. This self-perpetuating cycle makes potatoes the ultimate survival crop. A cellar full of potatoes isn't just food, it's a lifeline. In a world where food security is uncertain, potatoes provide the calories, nutrition, and reliability you need to survive. It's no wonder they take the #1 spot on this list. Bonus point 1. Onions, the flavorful multitasker. Let's start with a bonus crop that often gets overlooked in survival gardening: onions. While they might not be the first thing that comes to mind when planning a survival garden, onions are an absolute must-have. Why? Because they're not just a flavor enhancer, they're a nutritional powerhouse, a natural preservative, and a medicinal tool all rolled into one. Onions are rich in antioxidants, vitamin C, and sulfur compounds that boost your immune system and help fight inflammation. In a survival situation where stress and limited medical resources can take a toll on your health, onions can play a critical role in keeping you strong. They're also incredibly versatile in the kitchen, adding depth and flavor to even the simplest meal. A diet of beans and rice can get monotonous fast, but throw in some onions and suddenly you've got a meal that's not just bearable, but enjoyable. From a gardening perspective, onions are relatively easy to grow. They thrive in a variety of climates and can be planted from seeds, sets, or transplants. They don't take up much space, making them ideal for small gardens. Plus, they store exceptionally well. Once harvested and cured, onions can last for months in a cool, dry place, providing a steady supply of flavor and nutrition throughout the winter. Onions also have a long history of medicinal use. They've been used as natural remedies for colds, infections, and even wound healing. In a world without easy access to pharmacies, having a crop that doubles as medicine is invaluable. And let's not forget their pest-repelling properties. Planting onions alongside other crops can help deter pests, making them a natural ally in your garden. Saving onion seeds is a bit more advanced, since they're biennials, meaning they take 2 years to produce seeds. However, the effort is worth it. By letting a few of your healthiest onions flower and go to seed, you can create a renewable source of this essential crop. In a survival scenario, onions are more than just a garnish. They're a lifeline. Bonus point 2. Herbs, the tiny but mighty garden allies. Herbs might not seem like a priority in a survival garden, but they're far more valuable than they appear. These small but mighty plants serve multiple purposes. from enhancing the flavor of your meals to providing medicinal benefits and even repelling pests. In a survival situation where every resource counts, herbs are an indispensable addition to your garden. Let's start with their culinary value. Herbs like basil, thyme, oregano, and rosemary can transform bland, repetitive meals into something flavorful and satisfying. When you're living off staples like beans, rice, and potatoes, a handful of fresh or dried herbs can make all the difference in keeping morale high. And because most herbs are highly aromatic, they can also be used to mask the smell of less than fresh food, which might be a reality in a long-term survival scenario. But herbs aren't just about flavor, they're also medicinal powerhouses. For example, oregano and thyme have natural antibacterial and antiviral properties, while basil can help reduce stress and improve digestion. Rosemary is known for boosting memory and concentration, and mint can soothe upset stomachs. In a world without easy access to over-the-counter medications, these natural remedies can be lifesavers. Herbs are also some of the easiest plants to grow. They thrive in small spaces, making them perfect for container gardening or filling in gaps in your garden bed. Many herbs are perennials, meaning they'll come back year after year with minimal effort. And because they're so hardy, they can often withstand less than ideal growing conditions. Another bonus, herbs can help protect your other crops. Many herbs like mint and lavender are natural pest repellents. Planting them alongside your vegetables can help keep harmful insects at bay, reducing the need for chemical pesticides. And when it comes to seed saving, herbs are a breed. Most herbs produce seeds prolifically, and with a little care you can save enough to replant year after year. In a survival garden, herbs might not take up much space, but their impact is enormous. They're the tiny allies that make your garden more productive, your meals more enjoyable, and your health more resilient. Bonus point 3, sunflowers, the multi-use marvel. Sunflowers might seem like a decorative addition to your garden, but they're so much more than just a pretty face. These towering plants are a survival garden's secret weapon, offering food, oil, and even structural support for other crops. If you're looking for a multi-use plant that earns its keep, sunflowers are it. The most obvious benefit of sunflowers is their seeds. Sunflower seeds are a high-calorie, nutrient-dense food that's rich in healthy fats, protein, and vitamins like E and B6. They're an excellent snack on their own, but they can also be ground into sunflower seed butter or added to baked goods for an extra nutritional boost. In a survival situation where every calorie counts, sunflower seeds are a valuable resource. But the seeds aren't the only thing sunflowers bring to the table. They're also a source of oil. With a simple press, you can extract sunflower oil, which can be used for cooking, as a salad dressing, or even as a fuel source. Having a renewable source of oil in a survival scenario is a game changer, especially when store-bought options are no longer available. Sunflowers are also incredibly easy to grow. They thrive in poor soil and require minimal care, making them ideal for survival gardening. Their tall, sturdy stalks can even serve as natural trellises for climbing plants like beans, adding another layer of functionality to your garden. And because they're so visually striking, sunflowers can also act as a psychological boost, bringing a sense of beauty and normalcy to challenging times. Saving sunflower seeds is as simple as letting the flower heads dry on the plant. Once the seeds are fully mature, you can harvest them and store them for future planting or eating. A single sunflower can produce hundreds of seeds, making it a highly efficient crop. In a survival garden, sunflowers are more than just a source of food. They're a symbol of resilience. They stand tall, thrive in tough conditions, and provide a wealth of resources that can sustain you through the hardest times. Bonus point 4, berries, the sweet survival treat. Last but not least, let's talk about berries. Whether it's strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, or blueberries, these sweet, nutrient-packed fruits are a must-have in any survival garden. While they might not be as calorie-dense as potatoes or beans, berries offer something just as important, a boost in vitamins, antioxidants, and morale. Berries are nutritional powerhouses. They're rich in vitamin C, which is essential for maintaining a strong immune system, especially in stressful situations. They're also loaded with antioxidants, which help combat inflammation and protect your body from the wear and tear of survival living. In a diet that might otherwise lack variety, berries provide a burst of flavor and nutrition that can make all the difference. From a gardening perspective, berries are a long-term investment. Most berry plants are perennials, meaning they'll come back year after year with proper care. While they take a bit of time to establish, once they're mature, they'll produce fruit for years. And because they're relatively low maintenance, they're an excellent choice for a survival garden. Berries are also incredibly versatile. You can eat them fresh, dry them for long-term storage, or turn them into jams and preserves. They can even be fermented into wine or vinegar, adding another layer of utility to your harvest. And let's not forget their value as a trade item. In a world where fresh fruit is hard to come by, a basket of berries could be worth its weight in gold. Saving seeds from berries can be a bit tricky, as many varieties are hybrids that don't grow true to type. However, you can propagate most berry plants through cuttings or runners, making it easy to expand your garden over time. With a little effort, you can create a self-sustaining berry patch that provides a reliable source of sweet, nutritious fruit year after year. In a survival scenario, berries are more than just a treat. They're a vital source of nutrition and a reminder that even in tough times, life can still be sweet.